if I can share my own experience when it comes to depression and mental health, first of all, I think I'm in a good position to talk about it because I have been through it. I'm still going through it. It comes and it goes, and sometimes it's very severe, sometimes it's mild, sometimes you don't even realize, perhaps. Sometimes you feel like you are not depressed and you are normal. But I have gone through ups and downs during many years, since a very long time. So I think sometimes it's important that people who go through it talk about it, because we know more, I think, better than anyone else how it feels like. The thing with depression is, like, again, most people don't take it seriously, which is like, it's actually a very serious disease, very dangerous, because it's the only disease which makes you want to kill yourself or not live. And that's something that unfortunately the world doesn't take seriously, because they haven't been through it. They don't know how it feels. They have no idea how it feels. But it's something which is real. You should not banalize it. You should not ignore it. You should not be ashamed to talk about it and to seek treatment for it. And yeah, if I have to talk about my own experience, what I have learned from that is, like, the first, when you go through a massive depression, you feel extremely depressed. For those who don't know, if you haven't been through that, let me just tell you how it feels. So when you are super depressed, you feel like you don't want to live. You feel like nothing makes you happy. You feel like you just want to cry. You feel horrible. You feel like you don't want to exist again. And you don't have any incentive, any motivation. Like I said, nothing really makes any difference to you. And you tend to feel really guilty, and you feel like you're useless, you're worthless. You don't understand why you're suffering so much. There doesn't seem to be any reason for it. And if I have to share my own advice or suggestion, is when you go through all of that, it's so horrible. I know our first reaction, our first instinct is to just cry and ruminate. But it's very important to have compassion for yourself. If I have to say the number one, I wouldn't say antidote, but just when you're thinking all these negative thoughts, one after the other, darker than dark, just tell yourself that you have to be very compassionate and loving and kind and patient and gentle towards yourself. It's okay to feel that way. You can't always feel happy. You have been happy, because if you want to, that's why you feel like that now, because this is not normal. You have been happy. So just stop forcing yourself to not feel that way or denying it. Don't force yourself to feel normal. Acceptance is very important. Face your emotions, write them down, or talk to someone, or talk to yourself, or talk to God, but don't run away from it. Be very compassionate to yourself. Just imagine if you had a friend whom you love a lot, or a partner who is feeling depressed. How would you comfort them? Would you tell them that why are you feeling that way? You are really a worthless creature. You're horrible. You should not be feeling that way. You will be very loving and very patient. You will listen to them, and you will say all the right things. You will give them a lot of love. So for me, I think when you're feeling that way, it's a reminder that you are too harsh on yourself. Also, you need to give yourself a lot of love. All the love that you have, you give it to yourself. And again, just breathe. Remember to breathe. Breathe. It's all temporary. And do something that, don't fight with yourself. Don't force yourself that, for example, if you don't feel like exercising, don't force yourself. You know that there are things which you need to do to get out of it. Do them. But don't punish yourself either. Don't tell yourself that, I have to keep pretending that everything is fine. Like, there is something that we call high maintenance, high functioning depression. High functioning depression is when you're actually feeling depressed, but you will keep doing all of the things that you do normally, and you don't want to accept that perhaps you're depressed. So just tell yourself that it's perfectly human to feel that way. You're not the first one, you're not the last one. And even prophets used to feel depressed. All kinds of people feel depressed. Some people feel depressed with a reason, some people without a reason. It's not something that you don't have a magical pill that you can swallow and then your depression will go away forever. Sometimes it might go away, sometimes it might come back. And there is no use overthinking. Overthinking is totally counterproductive. Don't try to bombard yourself with questions. Why me? Why am I feeling that way? Why am I suffering? When you feel happy, you don't overthink. You don't ask yourself, why am I feeling happy? You just enjoy being happy. I'm not telling you to enjoy being depressed, but maybe you can use the depression in a way, in a constructive way. You can use it to help others, because you understand how it feels, so you can be an advocate for mental health, for example. You can spread awareness for mental health. You can reach out to other people in difficulty because you have this empathy, this compassion. People who have suffered from depression have a high level of compassion because they can understand and they don't want other people to feel that way. So they are in a perfect position to help others heal. You can use it in a productive way again to heal others. So always try to, I wouldn't say try to think positively, because positive thinking does not cure depression, but ask yourself that maybe this pain is trying to tell me something. Maybe the universe wants me to use the pain for a bigger, greater good. Even in religion, in all philosophies, I think they will tell you that the pain is not a curse. Don't tell yourself that you are a bad person, you're suffering because you're being punished. God is not punishing you. Maybe God loves you so much that He wants to purify you. He wants you to again wake up and see that even in the vulnerability there is that potential for growth, and of course ultimately for you to improve your connection with God. So it's not the end of the world. You're going to be okay. And if you are not feeling okay, then that too is part of the human experience. Again, I would just like to remind yourself and myself again, the biggest conclusion out of all of what I have said is compassion, self-love, patience with yourself. If you don't have that, then it's going to be difficult for you in the future, because you don't know what is going to happen. You might be struck by calamity again. You might be struck by adversity again. We don't choose what happens to us. We don't wake up and decide that one day, I want to feel depressed. I think most people who are going through depression or who have gone through depression, they are not guilty for it. They did not ask for it, So why are you punishing yourself for that? So yeah, I don't know what else to say, but I know that it's very difficult. And sometimes no amount of self-help book, no amount of praying, no amount of medication can help you feel better. But just remind yourself that there are so many people out there who love you so much and they want to see you doing better. They are willing to do anything for you just to give you the reassurance that you are not alone and that you are going to feel better. This is actually a promise. You have to promise yourself that you are going to feel better. This is just temporary, just like everything in this life is temporary. So just breathe. If you can't do anything, at least you can breathe. And if you want to cry, you cry. That's it. Just go with the flow and surrender to whatever you're feeling. Don't try to fight it.